Hello, everybody. Welcome to the TriStar Gym channel. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the BMF World Championship title that happened last week. And I'm going to be talking about the White House card, guys. We're going to be talking about all that. And also, I'm going to give you guys probably a update on my ripped groin. Okay, you guys know I ripped my groin last week, the day before leaving for the fight. So I was in crazy pain. I'm going to talk about that later. Guys, did I like the BMF fight? I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought Oliveira did an amazing job. A lot of people want the BMF guys to just throw down. It's supposed to be the two guys who throw down. They don't do no wrestling. But guys, don't forget, Oliveira is a phenomenal grappler. Why wouldn't he take Max Holloway down? Why will not try to take him down and finish him? If he would have got that sub in round one, for those of you who didn't see the fight, he took Holloway down immediately, was on his back for about 4 minutes. If he sunk in that choke, he would have been the BMF for sure. Everybody would have been thrilled. Everybody would have been, wow. Nobody's ever sub-max. Now, the fight was pretty much the same thing over and over again. It was just Oliveira taking him down, holding him down. There was a short moment where Holloway got on top. There was a brief moment where Holloway got on top. But most of it was just Holloway getting taken down, getting dominated on the ground. Guys, does Holloway have to go back to 145? I don't think it's crazy. I think there's a place for him at 145. Certainly at 155, does he ever become champion? I don't know. I don't know if it's the best place for him. It seemed like he was just getting taken down over and over again. And guys, Oliveira has really improved, immensely improved his wrestling in the last couple of years. He's really improved his wrestling. I think since the Makhachev fight, he's really upped his wrestling. He's been able now to get offensive with his wrestling. He might fight Arman Tsarukyan next. You know, why not? Why not have a rematch? This is a new Charles Oliveira. Lots going on in the lightweight division, and what did we see? We saw Max Holloway just get dominated. A lot of people upset. They wanted to see two guys throw down. Guys, you saw Max Holloway. He wasn't on his feet for long, but when he was on his feet, his hands were super fast. Pop, 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 pop. He was firing away real quick. I think he was expecting a striking battle. This is the BMF fight. We're not going to do no wrestling. We're not going to get down on the ground dirty and on the ground and roll around on the ground. No. We're going to go with the fisticuffs. We're going to go blow for blow. Guys, there's a lot of fighters out there. They mostly keep it standing. Oliveira is not one of them. Oliveira is a jiu-jitsu genius. Now, Max is great on the ground as well, but he doesn't really want to use it. He wants to strike. A lot of people upset. Guys, you can't hold the BMF guys to a strategy that they're going to stand there and bang it out. Now, I know a lot of people were disappointed. We didn't get a lot of blood and guts, but that's MMA, guys. BMF just stands for guys who go out there and finish. Because it should be for guys who go out there and put it on. They don't play the points. They go for the finish. That's what I think BMF should be. But a lot of people are upset. No, BMF's supposed to be like a rock'em sock'em back and forth bloody battle. I just gotta say I don't agree. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna take one or two BMF questions, BMF title fight questions and comments, and then I'm gonna roll right into the White House card. Okay, guys, we're not talking about the Middle East and all that stuff just yet. We're going to start only with the topics first. Not a BMF fight. Imagine watching that BMF fight with your friends and family. That fight would have been okay as a non-BMF fight. If Oliveira was true BMF, he would have stand and be good everywhere. That's from Nomad. The Nomad, okay, you're watching with your friends and family, and you're like, guys, this is BMF. There's going to be bloods. There's going to be eye sockets popping out. There's going to be bloody knuckles. There's going to be guys, all sorts of wounds on their body. And then it doesn't live up to the hype. Well, you know, you could say, look, this is the Super Bowl. We're watching the Super Bowl. This receiver is going to do a one-handed catch, or this running back's going to run a 50-yarder. Or you're watching the NBA championships, and you're going to be like, you're going to see a 180 dunk. You're going to see, and it doesn't pan out. That's just the way sports are, guys. Sometimes the top, most hype events don't pan out. It's the way of the game. Okay, it's not predictable. Now, the two BMF guys should be, in my opinion, two guys who go out there to finish. They're not doing lay and pray. They're not holding you down and for 25 minutes. And that's what I think BMF is about. It's about guys who are looking for a finish, a submission, a strike, a knockout, etc. I think it should be expanded to more of the finisher. Because, guys, why not do what Oliveira did? I would have done it. If I could have done it, I would have done it. Take him down over and over again, try to go for the finish. He didn't lay and pray. He didn't sit there and try to drain the clock. He was trying to fight for submissions the whole time. Now, I think the biggest question is, does Max Holloway go back down to 145? Is he the king at 145? Can he be the king at 145? Or does he try again for 155? I think it's the big question. Coach, by round 3, we would be telling Max to take risks to get up off the ground. Would you be telling Max to take risks, get up off the ground? That's from Ropoyoyo. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially after 2 rounds have been banked in. You can't afford to lose another round. Guys, we all saw the fight. Round 1 was pretty much rinse and repeat. It was just recycled. So it was some... Meat Rocket says 50-45 Charles. Guys, I didn't watch the fight that closely. I saw it 50-45. I didn't watch the fight that closely. I saw it in the background. It was there. It was playing. I saw the same thing happening over and over again. My attention was elsewhere. But I'll tell you, Oliveira looked brilliant. Every single exchange, as opposed to just a few striking exchanges early on, he looked unbelievable. Same guys that complain about Oliveira dominating Max will never watch Glory, even if that's what they actually like. Kickboxing, Glory going events, 5,000 viewers, and you all complain XD. Guys, he's right. Glory is just rock'em sock'em, back and forth, pressure fighters. There's no dancing around. It's just strike after strike. But you're right, people don't watch it. People don't watch Glory, even though you have these super athletes, these crazy striking, and they don't give him any room to run. There's no movement. It's just like forward pressure. If you move back, you get caught up in a corner and you get punished. Guys, does anybody really watch Glory? It's not as popular as you'd think. But why is it? Why is it not as popular? I tell you why. Okay, I'll tell you why. Because a lot of the fights look similar. It's almost like watching ping pong. Jab, jab, cross, kick. Then the other guy reply. He blocks, he covers up. Then it's like hook, uppercut, knee, boom. And it's just like back and forth. The one guy can take it anymore and he starts to fold a little bit. It's not as unpredictable as MMA. It's not as amazing as MMA. MMA, you look at one corner, you're like, that guy, he's got a crazy kicking ability, flying knee ability. He's really dangerous with the striking. Then you look at the other guy, you're like, oh, that guy, he's an amazing with armbar. He has like 8 wins by armbar. It's like, it's more cinematic. It's more like a Marvel action hero. You have all these guys with special abilities. Whereas in Glory, Muay Thai, it's really like the same fight over and over again. Whereas in MMA, you get totally different fights, and sometimes you don't know how these two guys are going to clash. Their styles are going to make the fight. We say that all the time in MMA. Styles make fights. You don't really hear that so much in Glory. Glory, it's not much. There's not as much to dissect and wonder about. And a lot of the fights look the same. It's just one guy could have done it at a higher pace for longer. I love MMA because anything can happen, baby. Anything can happen. You're beating me up, and then I take you down, I put you in a guillotine, and that's that. You were winning the whole time, and now you're not. Look, I know lots can happen in Glory, but way more can happen in MMA, my friends. Way more weird stuff. So that's why I think we love MMA. And also, for sure, for certain, UFC has a bigger budget and does a better job of promoting fights. No company promotes fights like UFC, which brings me to my next point. Let's talk about the White House card. The UFC is putting up the White House card, guys. The White House card. They're having a fight at the White House. Imagine if Glory was having a fight at the White House. Everybody would watch it. The UFC is a marketing machine. They're geniuses at marketing. Nobody beats them. I don't know how they got a fight into the White House. I don't know how they did it. Guys, we're going to be going to... My brother's fighting on this card, okay? So I know a lot of people are belly aching. Everybody wanted John Jones on the card or Ilya Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Guys, I did a whole breakdown on what could be the main event. At that time, I didn't know we were going to be on the card, okay? I did not know we were going to be on the card. I didn't know we were going to be on the card until they announced it publicly, okay? Because they offered us a fight. We agreed to the fight. And there was no contract signed. There was no confirmation. We don't know. We're hanging in limbo like everybody else because I think a lot of fighters were offered possibilities. They wanted to know, can you make that date? Would you be available? The answer is yes. And lo and behold, live, they announced it. And I was happy. I like to hear it that way. You know, it was a special moment. And that was really, really cool. But guys, let's look at this White House card, okay? Let's look at this White House card. I think this card is stacked. It's amazing. We didn't get Ilya Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Everybody wanted that fight. I think that would have made everybody really happy. I think nobody would have complained. However, we got Gaethje, another American fighter. Okay. There's a lot of American fighters on the card. We're going to talk about that as well. And an American fighter in the main event. Now, if you had Islam Makhachev, you'd have a Dagestani fighter, call him Russian Dagestani, versus a Spanish fighter from Georgia. Okay, so I think they wanted an American. And also, from what I understand, Islam Makhachev is still coming off an injury. But if they put Topuria, Makhachev, nobody would have complained. Everybody would have been, this is the most unbelievable fight card. We got to have this card. Now, guys, there's only 6 fights. There's rumors of a secret 7th fight brewing. Could be. UFC's marketing genius. I wouldn't put it past them. But I'll tell you, if this is the only card, and I heard it's super expensive just to have 6 fights. It's like crazy expensive. I heard fighters are walking out of the Oval Office. Guys, we're going to be in the Oval Office. Can you believe it? I heard these rumors. I don't know if it's true. I can't confirm. But I heard they're walking. The fighters are walking. They're walking us out of the Oval Office. The marketing genius of UFC. How they got this to happen is why they're number 1, guys. But I want to talk about this card. Okay, Gaethje is the main event. Let's start with the main event. Ilia Topuria, Gaethje. Guys, Gaethje could pull this off. I know you don't need my fight analysis. Everybody is going to pick Topuria. Guys, everybody. 9 times out of 10. Some people are going to pick Gaethje just because, he's the man. He's got incredible striking. He's a very powerful striker. And, of course, he's got a heart of a lion. Nobody can question his heart. However, here's the thing. And you don't need my fight analysis for this. You don't need anybody's analysis. You already know it. Gaethje's a bit of a blood and guts fighter. He gets hit often. He's going against the guy who hits the hardest, arguably, in the history of the sport. Arguably, okay? I'm not going to get into who's the who. But he's up there. If you have to do the top 5 best, hardest hitters in UFC history, if you have to do the top 5, Ilia Topuria would be on everybody's list. Why? He knocked out the 2 guys with the best chin in the same year. Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. 2 guys who've never been knocked out, get knocked out by the same guy in the same year. That ain't no fluke. Then he goes out, he knocks out Oliveira. Not just knocks him out. And I know of other people have stopped Oliveira. But he knocks him out in brutal fashion. That's 3 guys who touched gold. He knocked out back to back. Bang, bang, bang. Knocked out, knocked out, knocked out, knocked out. Not only that, he's knocked out pretty much everybody he's ever fought, save a submission here and there, and also Emmett. Okay, he didn't knock out Emmett. But he beat Emmett handedly. Guys, this guy's finishing everybody. One of the greatest finishers in the history of the sport is going up against a guy who gets hit often. You do the MMA math, and everybody knows. I'm stating the obvious. Why am I stating the obvious? Because I want to tell you guys something. This is going to be Gaethje putting every last drop of blood and sweat and soul he has. He wants this win more than ever. There's no fight more important to him than ever. It's the White House card. He's an American. He wants to shine in front of the White House and the world because the whole world is going to be tuning in. And guys, of course, Trump is going to be tuning in. Vladimir Putin is going to be tuning in. Kim Jong-un is going to be tuning in. The Tsar is going to be... Well, there's no Tsar, but you know what I'm saying. Everybody's tuning in. Why? It's a political event as well. You have the whole world watching the most politically charged government and place in the world. Everybody's watching it, guys. Kim Jong-un is going to be in North Korea. Maybe he's going to be having a midnight snack. He's going to be ordering pizza that he had French chefs fly in from France to just make him an authentic pizza from, Italian chefs. Why did I say French? I meant Italian. Italian chefs with ingredients and water from Italy and everything, just so he can have a perfect pizza. Why? Because he wants to watch the White House card, and he's going to be there with his elite. And Kim Jong-un is watching this fight. Everybody around the world, all the world leaders are watching it. Why? It's the White House, man. It's the White House hype. You can't get past the White House hype. Whether you love it or you hate it, or you want to bar them, or you want to see them rise and win, or whatever it is you want, you're tuning in. Everybody's tuning in. There's going to be millions of viewers we don't normally have. And you know what? The UFC told me that. They told me, look, you're going to have viewers that don't even watch UFC, but they're tuning in. Why? The White House. And all the people who hate on this card, I know a lot of hate, a lot of disappointment. You're all tuning in. Okay, why? It's just the hype behind it. It's the White House card. It's going to be outside. There's going to be a seating area outside the White House lawn. I can't believe it's true, but they said, I heard up to 80,000 viewers. Is that possible? 80,000 viewers live outside the White House lawn, outside the area, the viewing area. Could it be 80,000 people? Wow, that's like a Super Bowl watching. That's like a watch party the size of the Super Bowl. And then the lawn. I can't remember how much he said a lawn. I think it was 5,000. I can't remember. But that's gonna be the who's who. The who's who, man. And what I heard, it's Trump's birthday, and Gaethje's gonna be there fighting Ilia Topuria. It's the true life underdog story. It's the Rocky Balboa versus Drago. Okay? If Drago was from Spain, this is it, guys. He can't win this fight. You can't win. What did Adrian say to Rocky when he's standing at the stairs? He comes home. It's middle of the night. Adrian finds out that Rocky's fighting the Russian, Drago. And he's telling her about his fight, you know. He's talking to her. And then Adrian screams, "You can't win!" And Rock's like distraught, you know, because his girl was with him since the beginning. Guys, I grew up watching Rocky, even though I don't like Sylvester Stallone because of his political views. I don't like the guy. I think he's like, maybe I don't know his actual political views, but he sided with a certain country that I can't say I have respect for him. Okay, he sided with a country committing a you know what side. Okay, and I'll tell you, she tells him, "You can't win," guys. We all watched it as we were kids, and we're like, "Man, Adrian, how could you not believe in The Rock, man? The Rock." Of course, it was a romantic story. He ends up beating the Russian, and you know he gives a beautiful speech. He does it in Russia, of course. We were kids. We're all into it, right, guys? We're all into it. I probably would have been a doctor, a lawyer. Maybe I would have been an architect if it wasn't for Rocky and Van Damme movies. Maybe I would have been a constructive member of society. No, but instead I talk about instead I talk about and I study, and I only focus on two men fighting. That's it. Two men. How can we do it better? That's become my life. Why? Rocky, Van Damme, Bloodsport, all those crazy movies. Okay, so I grew up watching those movies. And now you have a real life opportunity, because I don't know what the odds are. I don't look at the odds. But I'm telling you, I'm assuming right off the top of my head, Topuria is a 5-1 favorite. Top of my head, 5-1 favorite. Why? If it was less than that, people were going to bet the house. People are going to bet their bricks of gold. People are going to bet their entire life savings on Topuria. People are so sure Topuria is going to win. Guys, what are my odds for that fight? I would tell you, look, I would tell you it's 70-30 Topuria, but don't count Gaethje out. Don't make it a 90-10. Don't make it a 95-10. This guy's got the heart of a lion. Gaethje's got the heart of a lion. He's got the power. He's got the power, man. A good knee, a good elbow, a good hook. It could change the game. I believe Gaethje is... Gaethje winning is a possibility. It's not a strong possibility. It's a possibility. Guys, Topuria is the best at hitting people. Gaethje gets hit a lot. That's the simple math. I don't know why I went on to it for so long, but that's the way it is. Okay, guys, Pereira versus Gane. I love Pereira. I love Gane. Pereira's trying to be the first three-time division champion. Three-division champion. Has anybody ever even tried for three title fights? Somebody in the comment section, I don't think it's ever even been attempted. I like Gane in that fight, okay? Gane is stick and move. He has great footwork. He's not going to go anywhere near that hook if he can help it. Okay, it's not going to be easy to get that hook on his chin. Oliveira has to put that hook on his chin. I think Gane is going to tiptoe around him. He's going to circle. He's going to stick and move. And he's going to shoot those takedowns. And with his size and weight, he should get them. By the book, guys. By the laws of physics we live by, he should get that takedown. Okay, by his wrestling pedigree. Even though it's not the highest wrestling pedigree, it's still higher. Significantly higher than Pereira. So he should get the job done. Guys, I'm going to open up comments and questions on this card shortly. Just let me go through the entire card. Then we have O'Malley versus my brother, guys. Zahabi, the only Canadian, the only Arab, the only Muslim on the card from what I understand, okay? Actually, Pereira, I believe, also converted to Islam. This is going to be a fight. Now, guys, I can't say anything about that fight. I'm heavily involved in that fight. I'm his trainer. I'm my brother's trainer. Obviously, Zahabi, O'Malley. O'Malley, a former world champion. One of the greats of the division's history. The history is great. Division's histories, okay? He's one of the best ever to do it at bantamweight. He beat Aljo by incredible KO. He beat Chito in a one-sided 5-round dominant title defense. Okay, then he lost to Merab twice. And then he came back with a big win over Song Yadong. Guys, this fight is a title eliminator. That's what the UFC is telling us, okay? The guy who wins this fight gets a crack at the champ. Now, the champ, Peter Yan at this time, is going to be supposedly doing it again with Merab. Whoever wins that fight, fights this guy. The guy who wins between O'Malley and Zahabi. Guys, I know the people in this chat, you're going to be very biased because you support me. Thank you. And I want to blow you all a kiss. By the way, Ramadan Kareem to you all. And thank you all for the support on this channel. All the guys who watch and support this channel. I really appreciate you. You support TriStar Gym. This means a lot to us. We're going to be going in there ready to do one thing. Because look, guys, we're going to America. We're going to the White House. We're fighting an American. Are the judges going to see things our way? Probably not, okay? Probably everybody in the vicinity wants to see us lose. Why? We're going up against an American. Of course, okay? Now, Gane and Pereira, it's a Brazilian versus a French fighter. It's not really patriotic. But now we're back in versus American versus Canadian. Okay, now the Americans are going to be pulling for the Americans. It's very normal. If this fight was going down in Canada, the Canadians, even though the Canadians would love O'Malley because, you know, he's really a personality and he's very famous, etc. I think a lot of people would be pulling for both because he's so famous, but they would definitely start chanting our name, okay? They would start chanting Zahabi. They did it against Aldo. But look, when my brother fought Aldo, they cheered Aldo. It was in Montreal. It was in our hometown. And they cheered Zahabi. They chanted Aldo. They chanted Zahabi. It went back and forth. The crowd was mixed. I think it's going to be kind of one-sided this time. And that's okay. We love it too, guys. We love the going in there, enemy territory, in the White House. You can't get more in their zone. You know, you can't get more in their country than that. You're at the White House. You're at the helm, guys. You're at the Oval Office. You're at the motherboard. Okay, you're at the, I don't know what you're at the president's house, man. Okay, so for sure, the patriotic feelings are going to be flying high, and I know a lot of the Canadians are going to be back home cheering for us, guys. After that, you have Ruffy versus Chandler, another American underdog versus Ruffy, guys. I haven't looked at the odds, but there's no way Ruffy's not at least a 2-1 favorite. Okay, maybe even 3-1. I would say 3-1, 4-1. We have Gaethje in the main event. Everybody's going to be cheering for Gaethje. If Gaethje pulls it off, it's going to blow. It's going to erupt. I got to choose my word carefully, okay? Because what I mean to say is people are going to erupt in cheers. People are going to erupt in cheers, and people are going to be, I don't know, it's going to be an epic win in an epic place, in an epic card. People will lose their mind if Gaethje pulls off this upset, guys. That's how stacked it is. But it's equally stacked for the other American, Chandler. Can Chandler beat Ruffy? Could he take him down? Even if he did, so what? Ruffy will get back to his feet. I just don't see it, guys. I see Ruffy putting one on his chin, and it's all she wrote. And the height difference and the Ruffy's kicks. Guys, this is an uphill battle. 3 Americans on the card, and 2 of them are going to be major underdog. Now, we know O'Malley's going to be a favorite. He's former world champion. He has a great knockout ratio. He's a very skilled individual. He's one of the greats to ever do it. The bantamweight history. Again, bantamweight's history. But Chandler will also be an American underdog. Okay, so that's, it's a sport of underdogs, guys. This is a sport of underdogs. That's another reason why I think people favor MMA over Glory, which we were talking about earlier. It's not because there's a lot of striking in Glory. We watch it because Glory, the underdog, often doesn't win. In MMA, the underdog often can create an upset. More often, I would say, than in kickboxing. Guys, so Chandler he's got to pack a lunch. If he wants to win this fight, he's going to have to pack a lunch. It's going to be tough, guys. It's going to be real tough. Guys, then we have Bo Nickal, another American fighter. But this time, the American fighter is going to be a favorite. Okay, so we have 2 favorites, 2 American fighters that are favorite, and 2 American fighters that are, let's call them underdog. Okay. Bo Nickal against Daukaus. Now, guys, I'll tell you that Daukaus, I've trained with Daukaus. He's trained at my gym. He's come visited me in the past. I think he's at 2 KO wins in a row right now. The knock on Daukaus in the past is that he was a submission guy with not real power. But now he's kind of remedied that. Okay, he knocked out the Brazilian Pereira, the guy who at 170 who does like the backflips and stuff like that. And he knocked out Meerschaert. Okay, now a lot of guys have finished Meerschaert as well. But he did it, guys. And he's long and he's lanky and he's got that reach that Bo Nickal is going to have to get past. And of course, Bo Nickal can take him down. Sure, take him down. But what happens when you do take him down? Daukaus is really good off his back. He's very good at submissions. He's a finisher in terms of submission. This is an interesting fight. I think a lot of people are going to underestimate Daukaus. That can be a real dark horse. Now, of course, I could say the same thing about Zahabi versus O'Malley, but I won't because that's my brother and I'm training him and I don't want to give my insights on the fight because I find it to be unprofessional. Okay, but of course, we have another American favorite in Bo Nickal over Daukaus. I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm just assuming he's going to be a fan favorite and an odds favorite. Okay, so I will tell you this one is going to be a little bit more sketchy. or it's a little bit sketchy. Why? Because Daukaus has seemed to have found his power, and he has the reach, guys. He has the reach. It's not going to be easy to get past that reach. Bo Nickal doesn't have the experience necessary, even though I don't want to make it sound like I'm picking Daukaus. I think this is just a harder fight than people imagine. Bo Nickal's real tough, but he showed some weakness to the body. He's been kneed to the body. He's been hurt to the body. He's been stopped with strikes. When the fighting gets tough, is he going to be able to bite down and get through? He's going to be able to bite down on his mouth guard and push through, because this is going to be a more difficult fight, I think, than people know, because most fans don't know Daukaus. Okay, Daukaus is a tough man. He's a tough man. He's no easy fight, guys. Also, all I'm saying is he's no easy fight. And then we have another American on the card. We have Steven Garcia versus Diego Lopes. Diego Lopes quickly turning things around. He broke his foot. Actually, he broke both feet in the last fight. What's he doing back in the octagon? Well, the guy's hungry for a win. He has 2 losses in a row. He's hungry for a win. He's fighting Steve Garcia. Guys, if you don't know Steve Garcia had 5 finishes in a row in UFC. 5 finishes. I think he's at 6 wins in a row or whatnot. The guy is a killer. Do not underestimate Steven Garcia. He is a killer. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Guys, let me go see Steven Garcia's record. Hold on real quick. Let me get things exact, guys. He's on a tear in UFC right now. Okay. He has right now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wins in a row in UFC. 7 wins in a row. Okay. 7 wins in a row. He's 8-2 in UFC. 8-2. 79% of his wins are KO. And he has 4 decision wins. Okay. The guy's a KO machine. He has dynamite in his hands. Now, here's the thing. Okay, guys. Here's the thing. If Lopes gets him on the ground, he's going to have a major advantage over Steven Garcia. Steven Garcia is a good wrestler, but he's not the best on the ground. That's his knock. That's a knock on him, okay? He's more of a striker. He has crazy kicks, punches, knees, elbows. He has crazy KO power. He can KO you with any hand. However, he's been KO'd himself, and also he's been dominated on the ground, okay? He's been dominated on the ground. Let me see real quick here. Has he ever been subbed? He's been only subbed once in his career, and he has 3 decision losses. But, guys, he's never faced a guy with the jiu-jitsu of Diego Lopes. Guys, that's another interesting fight. I would say that's kind of a 50-50 fight. So we have a stacked card. We have how many Americans? Well, Daukaus and Nickal are both Americans. Okay, so let's count them both. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 Americans on the card, guys. We have 6 Americans on 6 fights. And I'll tell you this. There's maybe a 7th fight. Guys, give me comments and questions on the White House card. I'm doing it now. I know there was a super chats, but guys, I hope you didn't do any super chats on anything other than the card. All right, let's look at it now. Coach, thoughts on Islam continuing to duck Ilya? Okay, I'm going to give you that one because it's related. I don't think he was ducking him. I don't think he would duck anybody. His hand is injured. He's in Ramadan right now. He's not training. He's not going to get all hyped up in a fight. Guys, when we're in a Ramadan, we're kind of in a bubble. Okay, we're in a bubble. We're chilling. We're relaxing. We're taking things a little bit easier. After Ramadan, he's going to go back in the gym. He's going to reassess. Now is a time it's a sacred time for us, fasting, prayer, being with the family, etc. It's a special time for us. So I don't think he's ducking him. He's going to be ready to fight Ilia Topuria sooner or later. He will definitely, eventually, no doubt, want that fight. It's going to be a mega money fight. Maybe Topuria wins and calls him out in the White House lawn, and he accepts, and they do it later in the summer or early in the fall, and it's an ultra mega fight for him as well. Thank God for Rocky and Bloodsport coach. MMA wouldn't be the same without the GOAT. Besides being a productive member of society, is highly overrated. That's from Nick the Nerd. Nick the Nerd, you're the man. You're a gentleman and a scholar. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that comment. And I often joke with George St. Pierre. I always tell him, I could have been a productive member of society. Why'd you pull me into this sport? Why did you pull me into this crazy game? And I say the same thing to Henzo Gracie or Royce Gracie when I see him. I'm like, why didn't you just turn me away? Just say, kid, don't get into this game. Go back to school. Why didn't they turn me away? Instead of turning me away, They egged me on. They pushed me into it. And now look where I am today. But thank you, man. Sweet comment. Okay, guys, let's do it, man. Let's talk about this card. The free bird. It was a poor choice of words. Okay, it was a poor choice of words. That's why I reiterated. I didn't mean to say what I meant. I meant it was going to be very energetic. People are going to cheer very loudly. And people are going to be super elated if they see Gaethje win the unwinnable fight. Imagine Gaethje winning the unwinnable fight. The best thing about the White House card is Ayman fighting. So excited to watch his fight, and I believe he will win. That's from Assad. Jazakallah khair, brother. Inshallah. Of course, like we say, inshallah, God willing. And look, we're going to do everything necessary. Okay, we don't want it to go to the cards. You know, we're not thinking it's going to go to the cards. Now, if it goes to the cards, we better have won every round handedly. Okay, because this is going to be one of those fights where there's going to be, like it or not, guys, there's going to be an influence that night. There's going to be an energy in the crowd. There's going to be an atmosphere in the crowd. It's going to be a very patriotic time. And you know how the game is played. Coach, people saying O'Malley getting a layup, easy fight against Ayman. This disrespect of these people. That's from 33 Larry Bird. Yeah, people are going to talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. It's up to us to go out there and prove it's not the case. You know, and that's what we're going to do. That's the game plan, my friends. That's the game plan. Salam, Coach. It's my 5-month anniversary here. Inshallah, more to come. I'll make dua for your brother. Jazakallah khair, brother. 5-month anniversary member for 5 months. You're a blue belt now. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Landos. You're a gentleman and a scholar, and I blow you a kiss. Ramadan Kareem to you as well, my brother. And thank you for those encouraging words. What else we got here? Personally, I think the fight at 170 is nowhere near as interesting. I think Islam's physically at 170 is way too much for Ilya. That's from Xavier. Excuse me, is that Xavier with an M? Okay, Xavier. I would tell you, I don't think Islam Makhachev ever comes down to 155 anymore. I think he's let his body fill out. Dieting for him and making 155 is not possible anymore. If this fight's going to happen, it's going to have to be at 170. Did they want this fight at the White House, you think? Imagine somebody from Russia or Dagestan wins the main event in a dominant fashion. Suppose it for a case. Do you think that it would be good PR? Or do you think they don't care about that? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I don't know. I think there's a mixed bag. I don't think they would be opposed to it, but they'd have to have some Americans win on the card to make sure that, you know, they don't disappoint the fans. Guys, there's going to be, think about this. Gentlemen, please think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if there's any ladies watching, but from the stats I saw on YouTube, I think I have like less than 1% audience is women. So it's a safe space for us, guys. We can speak openly here. But I think there's going to be, they're saying there's going to be millions of people who don't watch UFC tuning in. And I believe it. Why? Something's happening at the White House, guys. People who hate MMA are going to tune in. Why? It's happening at the White House. That's all you need to know. Something is happening at the White House. People with their political views are going to watch this fight because they want to use it somehow to express their political views. It's going to happen this way. Coach, will the fight be enclosed or outdoors? That's from my boy Mabo. It's going to be outdoors on the lawn. They might have like a tarp on top of the octagon, you know, maybe to shield from the sun and stuff like that. But it's going to be outdoors, guys. From what I understand, it's outdoors. Okay, so, wow. You know, what's the weather going to be like? Is it going to be cold a little bit? It's going to be June, right? So, but you never know. You can have a cooler day. You know, it's going to be later at night, so it's cooled off. But it's going to be different. It's going to be different, guys. Coach, what a life, cornering your own brother at the White House. Congrats. That's from Nico. Yeah, man, it's a pretty amazing experience. And from what I've been told, we're walking past or through the Oval Office. I don't know how they're going to manage that. I don't know how that works. But that's what it is. That's what they're saying. So, again, I'm not 100% sure about the details. Coach, your thoughts on John Jones' situation? It's a shame how his career is unfolding. He asked for his release and Jake Paul looking to sign him. That's from Landos. That would be crazy because he could have maybe been the main event of the White House card. However, he has in the past done things outside of the octagon that jeopardized the fight. His fight was canceled with Cormier the day before, the day of. I can't remember what it was. I was there. I saw John Jones in the hotel lobby. We were talking about it. He was not too taken aback about it, you know. And I think the UFC, I think Dana White said it multiple times, he would never put a main event of this magnitude on Jon Jones again. Why? Because he feels like Jon Jones might do something that would jeopardize the whole card. So do I agree with him? A little bit, yeah. I think it makes sense what he's saying. Coach, will Ayman express his political views? Inshallah, when he wins, he'll yell Allahu Akbar. That's Hassan Haytham. Hassan Haytham, you got to kind of be smart about political views. Number one, we got to keep politics out of this night, I think, as much as possible. Okay, because there's lots going on around the world, and we can talk about it, and I talk about it on this podcast on a regular basis, and we can post online, and we can do all that. But I think now this night is going to be reserved for the sport. Why? Of course, our heart goes out to the horrors going out around the world. And I think people know, but I think it's not the right time and place to say things like that. Why? I know a lot of people say, no, it's the right time. It's the perfect time and place. No, because you know what? Here's the thing, me, I want both sides to get along. That's my vision. It's not one side. I don't want one side to dominate the other and God forbid, erase the other. You know what I mean? No. That's not the goal. The goal is, look, we have commonality. We have things in common. Let's, like the Quran says, talk about what we have in common. Start with what you have in common. And make the other side feel safe and respected and loved and appreciated. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go out there and we're going to appreciate the day. It's a historic card, and we're going to show respect and love and admiration for our counterparts, the people we're fighting. Now, do we agree with the political views and what's happening overseas and their political views? No, of course not. Everybody has different political views. Okay. Now, do we know all the ins and outs and details of how the decisions are made? That we don't have either. Okay. But I really believe in coexistence, harmony, living together, and everybody has to have equal rights. And for that, of course, we'll always speak up. Okay. But there's a time and place. And I think the UFC and the White House and us understand that this is going to be, we're trying to make it a positive night for everybody. And I think that brings us closer to seeing each other as humans, as deserving of equal rights as everybody else. And we have more in common than we know. I hope we have this kind of energy and vibe on fight night. Guys, like the stream. That's from Kim Kaiser. Yeah, guys, please. That would be cool if you guys like the stream. Let's see how many likes we have. Does it say we have how many likes? No, it doesn't say. I can't see it. But, guys, if you like the stream, you'll be a gentleman and a scholar. What do you think, Coach, about a good kicker might be KOing Topuria? Does Gaethje have a chance of it? That's from Sheikh. Sheikh, Gaethje has a crazy low kick. He even kind of buckled Khabib. Even though Khabib, I talked to him about it, he's like, nah, the low kicks didn't do much to me. But I rewatched that fight, actually, recently. I was watching the fight highlights and stuff like that, and those kicks were brutal, man. And Gaethje's a hard kicker. Okay, we've seen him brutalize many fighters in UFC. If he kicks Topuria will take him down. And if Topuria gets on top of him, I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think Topuria can maul him. Guys, I forgot to mention, check out jujiclub.com. Guys, we have 50% promo code going on right now. It's get 50 off. Check it out. It's in the description. Check out Apex Meditation. There's also a special going on right now. Guys, I just want to say real quick, on Apex Meditation, you can get my voice or another guy named Grant. And my voice is being used over, I can't remember what the stats are, but over a crazy amount more than Grant. So guys, I was really surprised by that. Okay, the Apex guys gave me the stats. They're like, everybody's loving it. People are signing up. People are enjoying it. However, one thing that stuck out totally is people are using my voice, my AI voice, for the scripts, for the meditations. Guys, I was really shocked because I always use Grant. I never use my voice because I don't like to hear the sound of my own voice. But I was really amazed that I was 10 times more popular than this professional voice actor, which is really, really cool. So guys, thank you very much. I appreciate that. For the guys selecting my voice, that's really, really cool. It helps a lot, and I was really amazed. Okay, guys, like I was saying, Gaethje will take him down. Excuse me, not Gaethje. Gaethje will get taken down if he goes for the leg kicks, and they become a problem. Topuria is going to pull the ripcord and take Gaethje down, and if he takes Gaethje down, I think he subs him or hurts him. He mauls him. Guys, Gaethje's a great fighter, but he's not a great grappler. Topuria is a great submission grappler. Like it or not, he doesn't use it often. He submitted Bryce Mitchell, yes. But I've seen him train online. I've seen his footage online. He's an amazing jiu-jitsu practitioner. Make no mistake about it. Don't second guess yourself. He's a serious black belt, and Gaethje is defensively a purple belt. Defensively. Because of his athleticism. Because of his athleticism and his experience. I'll give him up to purple belt. But he's not a threat on the ground. He's not a submission threat. He's not a positional threat. Topuria will have his way with him. And Topuria can take him down if Gaethje is kicking. And if he takes him down, friends, if he takes him down, Topuria will have his way with him. So he can't. What I'm trying to tell you guys is he can't at liberty kick. Now a lot of people are like, oh well, he kind of kicked Paddy. Paddy doesn't have the takedowns of a Topuria. And he still didn't kick Paddy that much. He was still conservative with the kicks. Guys, if he kicks Topuria, I think it's a recipe for disaster. He will get taken down. And if he gets taken down, guys, it's going to be brutal. Topuria will punish him. George will be with you in the corner. That's from Daniel. Daniel, I can't confirm that right now, but most probably. Okay, most probably. Winner should shout free Palestine. That's from Austrian. Austrian, I agree with you, but you also might end up deported in cuffs. You might end up in a place where you don't want to be, because you got to be I think you got to be wise and careful. Okay, so of course we all want to see Palestine. We all want to see, guys, we all want to see Israeli and Palestinian live together. We want to see property rights be respected. The Palestinians have a right to return. That land was theirs. You have to give them reparation, buy their land, allow them right of return. You have to appease their rights as human beings. And then we got to live together like Muslims and Jews live together for over 800 years peacefully. Under Muslim rule, we live peacefully. Under Ottoman rule, another Muslim rule, we live peacefully. By and large, it was peaceful. Did things happen? Yeah, we had ups and downs. We had good times, bad times. Most of it, though, was good, positive. Under Muslim rule, we give Jewish people, Christian people, non-Christian, non-Jewish, their rights. They have their rights. It's in the Quran. It's in the book. It's solidified. Nobody could touch you. Nobody could stop you from preaching your religion. Nobody can stop you from practicing your religion. Now, there are some restrictions on preaching your religion in certain Muslim countries, but that's not actually in the Quran or Hadith, okay? That's something that Muslim countries don't want that in their country. It creates instability, they say, okay? Now, in liberal countries, secular countries, you can preach any religion. In certain Christian countries, in the past, for sure, for certain Christian civilizations, you could not preach Islam or Judaism, okay? Don't make any mistake about it, guys. In liberal countries, secular countries, you could preach any religion. But don't make a mistake about it, okay? There was never a Christian civilization that wasn't secular that allowed you to preach any religion you want. Okay, so Christians didn't want Islam or Judaism being preached, and Muslim countries are the same. Okay, so you have to remember, they're not secular liberal countries. Okay, the Muslim countries. So they don't allow certain preachings. Now they allow churches. They'll allow you to practice your religion. Egypt has 10 million Christians, etc. There are Christians in Palestine that have been there for 1,000 years. Okay, so there is religious liberties. You can be who you want to be. Like for instance, okay, the Jews were returned back to the Holy Land, the Jerusalem, by the Muslims. When the Muslims conquered Jerusalem from the Christians, they allowed, for the first time in 500 years, this is bedrock history, nobody debates this, they allowed the return of Jews to Jerusalem. We are pro-Jews living in Jerusalem. Don't ever forget that, okay? Don't ever forget that. We live side by side with Jewish people for hundreds of years at a time. We've sheltered Jews in Muslim lands for hundreds and hundreds of years from Christian crusades, Christian inquisitions. Okay, know your history, guys. There was a time where it was a dark time where Christianity was interpreted in a certain way, and I don't want to say that Christians think like that today. They don't. They interpreted Christianity as you have the right to unalive a certain group. Okay, it was an interpretation. It was a twisted and dark interpretation. Okay, which I don't think many Christians hold. Very few Christians will hold to this. Okay? Only the extreme right-wing fringe. Okay, most Christians, the vast majority of Christians don't think like that. Where did the Jewish people run and hide? Where did they live under? Who? The Muslims. The Muslims. To us, they're dhimmi. Dhimmi means protected people. They pay tax like everybody else. Actually, they pay a smaller tax, and they can practice their religion. Guys, when Omar bin Khattab, anhu, when he conquered Jerusalem, he refused to pray in a church because he's like, if I pray in your church, somebody will turn that church into a mosque. I'm going to go pray over here. And when he did, they erected a mosque where he prayed. So he said, look, thank you for the offer, but I don't want anybody taking down your church. Okay, so don't forget, there was plenty of religious freedom, and there is plenty of religious freedom in the Muslim world. But right now, in Jerusalem, there isn't. There's a certain people that are subjugated. They're not given rights. Their property rights are not respected. And they're constantly being forced out, ethnically cleansed. And we have to speak up. We have to speak up. We have to be brave. It's a difficult thing to do. Why? Because I mentioned that now YouTube wants to drown my videos. They want to bar me. They send me strikes sometimes. Okay? They want to push my algorithm down. They want to bury me, and people want to bury us. Why? Because the who's who, the up and up, right now, the people in control, they have a certain agenda. And the White House has this agenda as well, guys. They're supporters. So we got to go in that territory, and we got to show what we want everybody else to be. We respect each other. We care for each other. We have respect for your human rights, our human rights, your property rights, your special day, our special day. We have to make room for all of us to coexist. And that's the true mission. What about the Russian Empire? They were Orthodox Christian and had tons of Jewish and Muslims living and praising their religion. That's from Rocket. Don't forget, the Russian Empire was very secular. Okay, so I don't know which age you're thinking about, but they were very secular. Okay, so I don't think they were majority Christian. Don't forget, I'm not saying majority Christian. I'm talking about secular. They're separating church and state. Then you could preach any religion you want, etc. But I'm talking about the rise of Christianity was not very tolerant. Okay, when Christianity rose and overtook Rome, when Constantine the Great converted to Roman Catholicism, and then the legal religion, the only legal religion, was Christianity. Paganism was barred. Actually, not only was paganism barred, pagan writings were burned. The pagan writings were taken to the Islamic world. Guys, if you don't know this, you don't know history. This is bedrock history. All of philosophy, ancient philosophy, played all Greek philosophy wouldn't have survived. You wouldn't have Aristotle. You wouldn't have Plato if it wasn't for Muslim civilization. It wasn't illegal to have philosophical books, pagan books in the Muslim world. It wasn't illegal. It was illegal in Christian world. In the Christian world, it would be burned, and you could be punished for having such a book, having a Greek pagan philosophy book. Those books were burned under the Islamic umbrella. They were not only preserved, they were translated and improved. Guys, Islam had a major philosophical movement. Major. I study it till this day. And not only that, guys, let me tell you something really important. The Muslims preserved it, and then after you had the Enlightenment, when the Europeans came around and started to want to study philosophy again, they wanted to study philosophy again. That's why they call it the Enlightenment period. They want to go back to philosophical thinking. They took the Arabic writings. So the Arabs translated the Greek into Arabic. They took the Arabic and translated it into Latin. That's why you have some things that are lost in translation. Philosophers like me, we got to be like, was that lost in translation? Could it be that he meant this or that? Because the original Greek writings are no more. The original Greek autograph is no more, right? Over time, paper dissolves and just gets this. It becomes destroyed. It destroys. It dissolves. So the writings in Arabic now are converted to Latin. And now from Latin to English. So every time you translate, you lose a little something. Okay, guys? So don't forget, Islam did a lot for the Western world. They say there would be no Enlightenment period. There would be no success in Europe if it wasn't for the springboard that the Islamic civilization gave. Okay, and there's a lot of truth to that. There's a lot of truth. No matter what Sam Evelyn Harris says, okay? Sam Evelyn Harris is just a denier. But bedrock history, he's not a historian, guys. The historians tell us, not philosophers like me, but philosophers of history tell us, look, the Enlightenment period got a lot of their ideas from the Muslim thinkers. The Muslim thinkers got it from the Greeks, and the Greeks got it from, very likely, the Sumerians/Egyptians. It's one civilization springboarding over another. Okay, and civilization, the Muslim civilization we were, like many other civilizations, a massive contributor. Like many other civilizations, the Chinese, the Japanese, there are many great civilizations that contributed, and I should say all the civilizations contributed to the brain trust of human history. All right, guys, let's bang out the... How long? I'm going 50 minutes, guys. 50 minutes. I hope you guys are getting excited for this White House card. What else we got here on the White House? Coach, you broke my heart by going to fight in the White House. So many Muslims got killed by Trump and the U.S. government. I'm from Afghanistan, but also Iraq, Iran, and Palestine. Very disappointed. That's from Random Guy. Random Guy, can I tell you something? Look, don't take this about us making a political statement. This is what we do for a living. We got to pay our bills. We got to go and make money. We got to go and move forward towards the title fight. Now, why not fight at the White House? Because we can't say, look, we're not fighting because of the White House. We're contracted to fight wherever the UFC takes us. You want us to breach our contract. We have an understanding with UFC long before this card has ever been done. Okay, we're not going there to promote the White House. We're not going there to promote a political agenda. We're going there to do what we're contracted to do, which is fight on the date and place agreed upon. You're making this about politics. I'm telling you, I'm going there. We're going there with good faith, goodwill, and to represent, yes, Canadians, and of course, the Muslim way of life. We're Muslims. We're going to fight. And we don't have to be hostile all the time, even if we at odds with their agenda. Even if so. Because I'll tell you something. Did the Prophet ﷺ ever negotiate or how should I say, exchange or dialogue with his enemies? Abu Sufyan, for instance. Absolutely yes. Actually, they had a timeshare for Mecca. People don't know that. There was a time, the first pilgrimage, the Muslims and the pagans did tawaf together around the Kaaba. People don't know this. People don't know the history. People don't know that the Muslims actually tried to prolong their engagement and coexistence with the pagans. They tried to make it so that they could timeshare Mecca together peacefully. This is the initial and early negotiations. People don't know that, actually. The history is quite fascinating. Actually, the Muslims, on the Muslim side, tried to prolong the peaceful coexistence and time sharing. And it was the pagans said, no, your time is up, go. Well, we can prolong our time here and have a feast together and try to get to know each other as humans. It was the pagan side that said no. It was the pagan side. Okay. So look, there's a lot of history that you might not be aware of, but I'll tell you one thing. We are contracted to fight, and we're going to respect our contract, and we're going there for work. We're going there for the mission. We're not going there to be political. Okay, and you got to learn to separate the two. And we're political all the time, guys. We're talking about politics all the time. This is Ask Me Anything. We talk about politics all the time. Why does it have to be so much at the White House? Think about it. If we go and we act in a hostile way, which obviously we wouldn't. Okay, obviously would never. But doesn't that show people? People are gonna be like, oh, you see, look how they are. You can't invite them. You can't coexist with them. You can't interact with them. You can't be so hostile. Every which way, we're going to stop interaction. No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. If my neighbor is not happy with me, I'm going to be extra kind to him. I'm going to kill him with kindness, so to speak. Okay, I'm going to hurl goodness to him. Okay, I'm going to be I'm going to be extra nice. You know what? I saw he's sick. I'm going to bring him some kind of comforting food. You know, like I'm going to bring him a tea or something. I'm going to be extra nice to him. Why? I want him and me to get to a better place. And that's the whole idea. Okay, that's the whole idea, friends. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, this is a true hadith, okay? It jumped, hold on, let me find it for you. I lost it. It skipped on me because new chats came in. Okay, here we go. Clarified in a hadith that the greatest struggle is to speak a true word in front of an unjust ruler. That's from Hassan. Hassan, you're so right. But are we going there to talk politics? That's not why we're meeting there. We're meeting there to fight for a title elimination. I agree with you. If we were going there to talk politics, I would go there with my talking points. If that was what we were meeting for. They're telling us to go there. We're fighting. It's a professional environment. We're not going there for politics. They're not going to give us the mic to speak politics, friends. It's not about that. That's the whole point. Okay? Let the politicians talk about politics. The fighters are going to go compete. And of course, we're going to sympathize with human rights. Bring everybody together. Peace all over the world. That's the agenda, of course. But there's a time and place, and there's a wise way to go about it. And believe me, if you study the Sirah, that's what we're taught. Okay, there's a time and place to talk. And there's a time and place to protest. And there's a time and place to allow good behavior. Allow your adab. Okay, what's adab, guys? Good character. It's all about good character. Connecting as human beings sometimes is the best medicine. Okay. Coach, you are a gentleman and a scholar, karate black belt for 7 years, transitioned 1 year ago to MMA, trying it to deepen my arts. Your content helped me a lot, and I'm deeply grateful. That's from Matef. Check out jujiclub.com, my brother. Get 50 off and get 50% off anything. I just released side passing. I'm happy I'm helping you on your journey, my brother. I'm really happy to hear those words. I hope my instructionals are doing you justice and they're helping you supercharge your jiu-jitsu. Guys, my idea for jujiclub.com, my vision was the best content for the best price, the lowest price, the most. It's basically a private lesson with me for 50 times less the price you'd have to actually pay. Coach, greetings from Serbia. Where are your favorite traps or dilemmas like Denahar calls in jiu-jitsu? Give your opponent several options and all of them are bad. Appreciate the wisdom. That's from martial arts. Martial arts, I have so many. It's kind of hard to say it verbally, but I love side choke. Okay, my favorite thing is, my favorite submission is side choke. So I like to force you to either give me the back or the side choke and or katakatami. So that's called a trilemma. So katakatami is an arm triangle. You guys might know what is arm triangle. You either give me the arm triangle, I either side choke you, or I take your back. All are bad. And that's my favorite trilemma. All right, guys, let's talk about the White House card. Hey, Coach, if Ilya beats Islam for the belt and Conor, who is returning, fights him for the belt, will it be the biggest fight of all time? That's from the Mind of Frey. I don't think 85 months. By the way, guys, I got to give Mind of Frey a salute. And a gentleman and a scholar. Frey, you're a gentleman and a scholar. He's 85 months in. He's a black belt member of the channel. Wow. 85 months in. Guys, somebody do the quick math. How many years is that? Hold on. Let me I got to type that in, guys. I have to. Why? Because I have to celebrate Frey right here. 85 divided by 12. Is that possible? 7 years? Wow. Mind the Frey has been in the game with me here for 7 years. Mind the Frey, man. When are you going to travel to Montreal and meet me? You got to meet me, man. You've been a member for 7 years. That's unbelievable. That's probably when I started the membership. 7 years. All right, man. I'm going to answer your question for sure. If Ilya wins and beats Islam Makhachev, and then he goes on to fight McGregor, who presumably has a win, would that be the biggest fight in history? Well, think about it. He'd be a 3-division champion. He'd be fighting the first ever 2-division champion. Yes, that could be the biggest fight in history. Why? I'll tell you, the whole population of Ireland is going to go to... Imagine they did it in Ireland. Okay, then you just... Obviously, the tickets would be... they would be ungettable. Only the who's who would be available, like, to get tickets. And the pay-per-view buys around the world would be insane. Now, they probably do it in Vegas for time purposes, etc., because of time difference. But even then, Ireland is going to move to Las Vegas for that fight. They're all going to move to that fight. And it would probably maybe be, you're right, the biggest fight in UFC history. Absolutely. The card is ass, brev. Sorry, I know you're on it, but come on. That's from Kaiser. Look, I understand, but you're going to tune in and you're going to pay and you're going to want to watch it and everybody's going to tune in. It's still a great card. It's just not... Remember, they were saying they're going to do 6 title fights. It might be 6 title fights. I don't think people want to see 6 5-round fights. It's too much, guys. More than 3 title fights in one night is too long. Sometimes it's 25 minutes. It's back and forth. It's a good fight. It's not the great fight. And then we think, oh, we're going to have to sit through 2 more of those. It's too long, guys. 25 minutes sometimes is too long. Fight can get kind of boring. Okay? Imagine you had Chimaev beating DDP and Makhachev beating JDM on the same night. And let's pick another fight like that. 3 fights in a row, 5 rounds, 25 minutes of the guy on top. People would be tearing their hair out. People would be upset. You don't want that. Imagine we had 6 fights in UFC. It wouldn't go that way. But imagine 6 5-round fights where it's just like Oliveira on the back of Max Holloway. The crowd would lose their minds. It's too risky. I don't think it's wise. I think 1, 2 title fights, maximum 3. Maximum. You can't go more than that. Okay? Why? Because when it's 15 minutes, the guys put more energy in it. It's more of a sprint. Okay? So I think that's what the crowd can tolerate. Guys, this is a great card. Is it UFC hype worthy? I think so, because look at the main event. Okay? You have champion versus champion. I think it's great. Now, you also have Pereira versus Gane, a second title fight. And then the Coco main, guys. You have a Zahabi on there. So you guys should be happy you guys, my crowd, you should be happy. O'Malley versus Zahabi. You guys been asking me for that fight. When's that going to happen? When's that going to happen? It's a title eliminator. I'm obviously excited for that fight. A lot of people are not, because, it's not a title on the line. My brother's not the most known fighter. He did come off an epic win. He beat Jose Aldo. He beat Chito Vera. One guy who fought for a title. One guy who was a longtime champion. Guys, don't forget, he beat Chito Vera. He beat Jose Aldo at 145. Don't forget that. Okay? It's going to be a great night of fights. You're going to tune in. We're going to have a great time, I'm sure. And a lot of belly aching, I know, but what can I do about it? Maybe there's a secret 7th fight that's going to cheer everybody up. I can't wait to see what happens. Coach, have you ever heard of Dynamics MMA? Is it any good? It's my local MMA gym. I'm curious if I should train there. That's from Zachariah. I don't know them, so I don't know. You'd have to go check it out. Go check it out. Go pop in. Maybe they have one of those free trial stuff, or a day pass. Coach, what are your top 5 strong and stable philosophies for life? That's from the Freebird. Freebird, it's in the PDF file. Check out Strong and Stable Needs for Life, and it's in there. Okay. Number 1, guys, always train with a margin of safety. It's super important. I talk about the pain rule. I'm not going to go through it all now, but there are the strong and stable principles. And number 1 on the list, I'll give you number 1 on the list. Okay. Always train with a margin of safety. If you don't, it's a matter of time before you pop. You hear a snap, crackle, pop. Guys, last week I was wrestling. I was on my 3rd round. I was fasting. I was dehydrated. I trained twice the day before. I overdid it the night before. I wasn't training with a margin of safety. I shot a high crotch, which I shoot all the time. And I heard a snap, crackle, pop. I heard 3 pops. Pop, pop, pop. And thank God I rolled over. I yielded to the weight. And I rolled over. And I was in crazy pain. Guys, I'm in crazy pain till now. I'll give you guys an update later. But crazy painful. A groin pull. Crazy painful. Guys, I'm doing no MRIs. I'm doing no scans. I'm going to rehabilitate myself. The only thing I'm doing is I'm taking naproxen, which is an anti-inflammatory. I took it because the pain was unbearable. It's a very strong anti-inflammatory, which definitely helps. Coach, can I do side choke? I got shorter arms. Also, does it work in the gi? That's from It's DLU. Yes, it works in the gi. But you have to use the collar. So you're talking about using the choke. So it's more of you could choke from the side using the lapels, not just your arms. I think it'll be a little harder to do because it'll be a little bit harder to wrap your hands, but it's doable. It's doable. But why not use the lapel? The lapel is going to make your choke even stronger. So you do a side choke. You do a side choke Ezekiel from there. For shorter arms, it's a little bit harder to do. Okay, it's definitely a little bit harder to do. So I think you need medium to long. Medium to long, unless your opponent is about your size. Advice to someone who freezes up when standing up for themselves against bullies in social situations. I don't know why my brain just freezes. That's from Drew Mac. Drew Mac. Get Apex Meditation, my friend. It's true. We just released, guys. I keep forgetting to talk about Apex Meditation. I hate to forget, but I forget every time, okay? Guys, check out Apex Meditation. Let me take down the White House card, okay? It's on your screen right now. Guys, it's such an amazing tool, okay, guys? Get 50 off for Juji Club. It's not for Apex, but Apex is doing its own promotion. Guys, we release a book every week. Okay, we have book meditations. We take these amazing books and we turn them into meditations. And the one we just released is Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Okay, it's a very famous book. I haven't done the meditation yet. I'm planning to do it after Ramadan because now it's Ramadan. So I'm not really using Apex meditation as much, even though I do listen to it before practice. Okay, it pumps me up before practice. Guys, Apex Meditation is releasing a new book every week. And the last one, and they're letting me choose often. Okay, oftentimes I get to choose. I give them a list of books I want. And I've heard of this incredible book called Feel the Fear, Do It Anyway. Now, I haven't listened to the Apex Meditation, but I'm telling you, fear doesn't go away. You got to learn to ignore fear. You got to learn to just feel the fear. I hate to say it, but you got to feel the fear. I'm assuming the book's going to tell you, do it anyway. You got to decide to do it, and the fear can go to hell. And you got to overcome that fear. You got to bite the bullet. You got to push through. I also am a big believer in you got to identify what kind of fear you're having. Okay, so here's what I would tell you. Is your fear irrational? That's what I ask myself. Is my fear irrational? Like, for instance, I'm really scared of airplanes. Okay, I've overcome my fear of airplanes. I had a incredibly massive phobia of airplanes, and I have to fly all the time. I have to face my fear on a regular basis. The first question to ask myself, is my fear irrational? My answer was yes, because airplanes are safe. Statistically, they're super safe. Okay, that's it. I've decided I'm going on the airplane. My rational mind is deciding. Now, I tell myself, I'm going to feel fear. I'm going to get sweaty. My heart rate would bounce. Guys, my heart rate would beat out of my chest. It's like if I had run a 400-meter sprint. It was crazy. For hours, I'll be sitting in my chair, my heart beating out of my chest. Now, I made a rational decision to face my fear, and then I made a strategy. I had a whole strategy about how I'm going to cope with my fear. Okay, so I came up with all sorts of crazy stuff, and I did my research. One of the big helps for me was I had a water bottle with me so I could look at the water, how level it was. Whenever the plane would shake, I would notice that the water didn't shake that much because the plane didn't move that much. The water bottle would tell me how much the plane actually moved in reality. So in my mind, hey, we just dropped 10 feet. No, you didn't drop 10 feet, man. Look at the water. It just moved about barely a millimeter. That's your imagination. So I had a strategy. So one, I asked myself, is it rationally safe? If you're going to confront your bully, what's the worst that can happen? He humiliates you. Can he unalive you? If he can unalive you, don't do it. Okay, so does it make sense to do this? Meaning, if you confront your bully, is it going to better your life in some way? I would tell you yes, because your bully is going to stop bothering you. You know, eventually he's going to be like, look, I don't want to deal with this guy. He's going to stand up. He's not an easy target. Bullies love easy targets. Don't allow yourself to be an easy target. Okay, so one, does it make rational sense? If yes, then good. Then two, are you ready to deal with the consequences? Are you ready to maybe have to defend yourself? That's what I would tell you guys. You have to know how to throw a punch. You have to know how to defend yourself. Okay, that's why I made a man's guide to throwing a punch. You got to know the basics of punching. No man should ever be without the ability to defend himself. And you don't have to be able to beat your bully. You just got to be able to stand up to him, because if you give him a bloody nose, if you bang him up a little bit, maybe you didn't get the best of him, but you banged him up. It hurt. He won't bother you again. Why? Because, hey, that guy, he's a BMF, man. I can't just bully him. I can't just take what I want from him. No. He'll fight back. Okay? He'll want reasons why not to engage you. Okay? Why? Because you got a bloody nose. Nobody wants a bloody nose, a broken rib, and you might be getting stronger, and you might be training harder, because next time he might not get that. He might not get away with so little. Okay? He might have a broken jaw next time. Okay? So you have to be threatening enough that people don't bother you. Okay? Guys, I'm going to move on to the next one. Guys, we're an hour in. I'm going to be ending this one shortly, so let's ramp it up for a funny one at the end. This sounds like it's not about physical, more psychological for Drew. He's talking about letting people diss him in a social situation. I think that's from Abu Yahya. If that's the case, there's no physical fear. There's no fear. Why don't you stand up for yourself? Why don't you? You should be respected like you respect everybody else. Number one, ask yourself the first thing. Are you showing others respect? If the answer is no, you got to fix that. That's the first and foremost. That's why I love, guys, Apex Meditation did a book-inspired meditation on how to win friends and influence people. What a crazy good book. I've never read the book, but I've listened to the meditations. Every meditation is amazing. There's 5 meditations on the book. Every single one of them is pure gold. Pure gold. And look, you got to know how to be in a social environment. You have to know how to deal with others. Okay. Now, there's actually a few other good books. I'm forgetting the title now. I was trying to think of the title, and it talks about it was about admitting your faults publicly. Like, if you have a fault about yourself, if there's something wrong about you, admit it publicly. Don't take long. Admit it publicly right away. If there's something that you don't do well, know it about yourself and admit it to the world. That's a great way to get along with your environment. Don't be the type of person who never apologizes. His you know what doesn't stink, and he doesn't see that he's rubbing people the wrong way. He can't be in any way criticized. Don't be that kind of weak, fragile, egotistical, narcissistic, annoying type person. Guys, we're a group. We're a group of people. We're sharing an environment. We got to learn to get along. And I want you to feel as happy and as comfortable in this environment as I am. Now, the flip side of that coin is don't allow others to step on you or make you feel uncomfortable. First, make others feel appreciated, comfortable, and respected. And then 2, demand that your comfort, respect, and rights be also observed. You have to demand it. If there's somebody disrespecting you, I don't know, maybe somebody's eating your lunch. You know, you have you're in a work office and somebody's eating your lunch. They're taking your sandwich out of the fridge and they're eating it. That's unacceptable, man. That's unacceptable. We're going to find out who it is. And we're going to approach that person. We're going to tell them, hey, man, listen, you got a free lunch today. I'm expecting a lunch tomorrow. I want you to bring me $20 tomorrow or pay me this lunch or order me this meal or whatever. Maybe you let the first one slide. I wouldn't ask for a lunch. I wouldn't ask for a payback. I wouldn't ask for money. But the second or third, I'll be like, hey, man, look, it's going to be a problem now. I need you to pay me for my lunch. You know, it cost me about this much. I want you to pay me for my lunch. I'm going to order some food. You're paying for it. That's what I would do. Personally, that's what I would do. I'd be like, hey, man, first one was funny. It was a prank. Now, I'm not happy about it. And let's say the guy refuses. Well, now we're going to escalate. I'm going to tell the owner. I'm going to tell the people in charge. I'm going to tell them, look, it's escalating. This is what's going to happen. I hope you can intervene, make it right, because this is a receipt that needs to be paid. I'm the type of guy, guys. I'll let 1, 2 slide. I'll look the other way. But the third, fourth, no thank you. And that guy might find himself in a problem. You know, I might not let him sit in his seat, for instance. I might be sitting in his seat when he shows up to work. There is going to be an escalation of some sort because I want everybody to be respected. And that includes me. Be the change you want to see in the world. That's from Christian. Totally agree to that. Salam, I'm 25, finishing master. Dream is to do 4 years of MMA. Plan start 6 months, Thai or Dagestan each year. Oh, go to Thailand for 6 months or Dagestan. That's brilliant. Should I start with full MMA or do wrestling first? Which Thai place would you recommend? That's from Bong Bug. That's a great strategy. Go 6 months Dagestan, then 6 months Thailand, and then join an MMA gym. That's a recipe. That's a really good recipe. I love it. Do one at a time. Concentrate yourself. I think that's great. And where to recommend in Thailand, guys? Where I trained in Thailand, it was no foreigners allowed. So you can't really, unless you have an invite. So you wouldn't be able to go to these camps. You have to go to, I recommend Tiger Muay Thai because they have a lot of MMA guys. So you might get some days where you can actually do some jiu-jitsu. So kind of even out your training. But I would recommend Tiger Muay Thai. I think that's great. That's cool, man. I think that's a really good plan. Congratulations on finishing up your masters. That's from Bogdan Mali, guys. A gentleman and a scholar. A true gentleman and a scholar. Slam coach, I talked to Dana. The secret fight is Islam walks out and immediately fights the winner of the main event. That's from Landos. Landos, a blue belt, my boy. That would be something. Imagine Ilia Taporia knocks out Gaethje, and then they you hear the Stone Cold Steve Austin walkout music, like the broken glass. And who walks out with the belt, the 170 strap? Islam Makhachev. Could be crazy. Coach, do you think potentially your brother's fight against O'Malley will be like Muhammad Ali's Rumble in the Jungle, Rwanda culture moment, where the crowd was saying Ali Boumaye? Imagine that. That's from the nomadic. Nomadic, don't forget, when Ali was fighting George Foreman in Zaire, the crowd was on Ali's side, even though George Foreman was the favorite, and he was pummeling Ali for 7 rounds, if I remember correctly. It was about 7 rounds. So the crowd was supporting Ali. In this situation, they're going to be supporting O'Malley. So are you saying we're going to be the George Foreman? Because I don't think the immediate crowd is going to be cheering for us. I think the crowd back home is going to be cheering for us. But you never know, man. You never know. Sometimes the way the fight is going, one guy gets kind of hurt, starts to come back, and seesaw battle, they start cheering for the other guy. You never know. You just never know. But I'm assuming we're going to get booed. Bogdan, I just finished my bachelor at 24, and I'm already, and you already have your master's. That's from the Nomadic. Yeah, he's a gentleman and a scholar. He's got that master's degree, guys. He's really a gentleman and a scholar. Coach, are you going to train today with freezing rain in Montreal? That's some JT. JT, I went training yesterday. And today I'm going. Of course I'm going. And boo-hoo, everybody. Yesterday wasn't a lot of attendance. Why? They were saying we're going to have the ice storm of the year. It's going to be like a crazy ice storm. I went. It was nothing. And then it was okay a little bit this morning. It didn't pan out to be what everybody said it was going to be, even though the roads weren't great. And of course I'm going to practice, guys. It doesn't matter what the weather is. I never miss practice. That's just crazy. And I will tell you, a lot of people miss practice. Now, look, a lot of people miss practice because it's also Ramadan, so I respect that. I go do my iftar now. Today I'm fasting now. I'm going to do my iftar in the gym. But I'll tell you something. Ramadan, of course, is getting tougher because now the time to eat is the time for training. So people are not going to show up to practice. I totally understand that. But also, we had a lot of the non-Muslims not show up. Why? Ice storm. We had a supposed ice storm coming our way. Guys, I don't miss practice, man. I don't miss practice. Also, I got 4-wheel drive, so I got all-wheel drive, so I'm not too worried about it. All right, guys, I got to end this podcast shortly. Let's do something funny and light. Something funny and light. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's ask Chat. You know what? I've been using Claude now. I borrowed ChatGPT because I heard they're working with the military now. So now I'm using Claude. Let's use Claude. Okay, guys, I've never used Claude voice prompt before. Let me try it. Hey, Claude, I'm doing my MMA podcast live. Can you give me something funny and witty and to end as a last question or thought experiment, MMA / style thought experiment? Give me something fun and crazy.
Perfect timing. Here's something for you. So here's my thought experiment. If you had to fight one MMA fighter, but you could choose any superpower, what would it be? And I'm not talking about super strength or speed. Everyone picks those. I mean something weird. Like, what if you could control gravity in a 1-meter radius around you? Now your opponent's takedown attempts are suddenly fighting physics itself. Or you could reverse time for exactly 3 seconds once per round, just enough to undo that armbar setup. The real question is, does the superpower make you better at MMA? Or does MMA make you better at using the superpower? Because honestly, I think
Okay, Claude, don't ramble on now. Don't ramble on. Which superpower other than Superman or the Hulk? Obviously, everybody picks that. He's right. What bizarre? Let's make. What bizarre superpower will I choose? You know what, guys? I know a lot of people are gonna think I'm crazy, but Wolverine's ability to heal. Imagine you could take shots, and as your opponent's punching you, as he's breaking your chin and jaw and hand, you're just regenerating. You're just regenerating. And as you're getting tired, your cardio is just regenerating. I'm just completely regenerating all the time. I'm basically armor. I got this like unbeatable, unbreakable. Imagine another guy break my arm. I get out and my arm just rejuvenates right there. I mean, what can the guy do to me? He'd have to choke me. So I'd be the number one at choke escapes, and I have an unrelenting offense. Why? Because I don't care if he punches me. I don't care if he double legs me. I don't care if I'm underneath. He'd have to pin and control me and or submit me with a choke. So I'd have to be really careful for those two things. I'd pick Wolverine, guys. That's the superpower I would pick. Guys, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. And guys, don't forget jujiclub.com. Use promo code GET50 off. Get 50% off anything on jujiclub.com. Level up your striking game, your wrestling game, your ground game. I just released side-to-side passing. It came out really, really well. Guys, don't forget, check out Apex Meditation. It's a life-changing app. I'm not going to say too much about it, but after Ramadan, I'll give you guys more of a taste. It's an unbelievable app. It's the most life-changing app I've ever come across. Check it out. It's being widely adopted already. Sooner or later, the price is going to go up. Get it now while it's still not well known. It is the best meditation app out there in the world. Check it out.